he's good for a result wherever we see him.
The beautiful Salzburg Ring in Austria is the venue for the 5th round, and we're just having a quick look at the spectators that line the circuit. Even Norbert Mikeli still has fans coming from Hungary. Alex McDowell was the least penalised of the penalised drivers, if that makes sense. Qualifying in 4th spot, but he's been dropped down to 12th after an 8th-place grid penalty. Also, something like 40,000 euros with fines were brought out last night as well. And it's going to be a challenge. McDowell, teammate James Nash, was the one driver in practice that we saw having a puncture, the initial left front puncture that we saw so much of last year, and not too much to worry about, apparently, from the Bamboo guys.
We saw a number of cars. I mean, obviously tyre wear is a massive issue here for the front-wheel drive boys predominantly, but it can bring it into the rear-wheel drives as well. There's a lot of curves, high-speed corners where the tyres are loaded up for a long time. Warm-up saw a number of teams and drivers doing race simulations. Nash did one. He didn't last that long. He got to about just over 50% of race distance, and he had a tyre failure. But Muller went longer, and he's in the Chevy as well as Nash. Very similar machinery. So I'm sure the Bamboo guys will have learned a lot from that, and when I went to see them, they were sitting pretty comfortably.
There are 3 types of mood in the paddock from the drivers. There is happiness for some of the guys who've benefited. There's obviously anger and sadness, and then there are a few drivers who are incredibly nervous. René Munich, for one, starting in an unprecedented 10th position. The owner of allinkle.com, the man who's brought this team from the FIA GT Championship to the World Touring Car Championship, hired Rob Huff. But really, he's not got the pace to be sitting mid-pack, and he's feeling the pressure for sure.
Oh, absolutely, for sure. I mean, he's been starting the sort of the back end of the teens at the previous round so far. So it's going to be interesting because the Salzburg Ring is one circuit where it does get very busy very quickly.
Well, we have a chicane. Oh, and James Thompson's got a new helmet for the race. Not wearing the traditional silver and Union Jack, but in fact just a complete new carbon black helmet, and he will start in 8th position. Now, I think he could have qualified about 8th position because he had the pace, but again, misfortune struck him in qualifying.
Yeah, Kozlowski did very well, Michael, and you know, Jimmy's had a little bit of pace on him. You know, just he knows the car, he knows the circuits. He's an established benchmark in the team. That's why Lada Sport we've taken him on and have him. He with his partnership with Marco as engineer. But it's going to be very interesting to see how they go on. He was very quick in morning warm-up. They have got a weight advantage over the Chevrolets and Hondas at the moment with the regulations. So it'd be good if he could put those assets to his use today.
Yeah, the circuit in terms of characteristics, very much like Monza and Marrakesh, with the long back straight, the fast, slippery cars are the ones that will benefit most. And as you said, Lada, the lightest of the cars, no weight. In fact, I think they're -40 in comparison to some of the other drivers and other teams. And there is Franz Engstler, 6th on the grid, one of his highest starting positions for a long time, and celebrating some sort of a benchmark this weekend as well.
Yeah, he's had 25 years racing at the Salzburg Ring. His first race here, he was actually teammates with Michael Schumacher. So he's seen a lot, he's done a lot, and he's still here, and he's lining up 6th on the grid today. So, I mean, he's just an inspiration for everybody, and he can still race. I mean, he won at the Oschersleben last year, so it's he's still a man to contend.
Yeah, they've been struggling. Well, all BMWs have really been struggling. This car, the same car that Stefano D'Aste took to victory here last year, Freddie Bart, still getting used to the rear-wheel drive. He was a Seat driver 2 years ago and struggling a little bit with the rear-wheel drive. Here's another man, though, that is in a place that he doesn't recognise, certainly in the World Touring Car circles. Mikhail Kozlowski, 23 years old, no points scored as yet in the World Touring Cars. He has experience from the Russian Championship, but World Touring Cars is a different kettle of fish.
He definitely fits into the James Thompson mould with the haircut, doesn't he? But he looks like James's son. People have been able to say that for me for a few years now, but no one's been able to say it to Tomo yet.
Mehdi Banani coming off the back of an incredible weekend at the Hungaroring, his best ever results there. A very different circuit here. The BMWs have been laden with a bit more weight as well to slow them down with the compensation. And Mehdi being gifted that third place grid spot should be an interesting one to watch. It's not really a BMW circuit until the second half of the race, is it?
Yeah, the Moroccan, he can screw some good laps together. So you put him at the front and he can drive a good race and with a strong car. But this is going to be a good danger man for a result. As long as he can keep the fighting clean with Nukia on the front row with James Nash, because we see him with the grid shake-up. We see him on the front row for both races. So James got a chance for a really good, strong weekend. Yeah,
he'll be on pole position for race 2, on the second spot for race 1, with Michael Nukia alongside. And Nukia has already taken a victory. Remember the first race in Marrakesh, he took victory. And with the Chevrolet, with that power, with the slippery car, is it going to be it's going to be quite hard to pass him, isn't it?
Well, we're just looking at Nukia now, and he does come across as a bit of a cheeky chappy. You know, he's got his Smurf in there, all smiles, but he is a determined, hard racer, and he's a definitely hard guy to fight against, as he showed in the Swedish Championship. But it'll be interesting to see how these two make out.
We're going to be hearing from Rob Huff on the warm-up lap as well. We've got a microphone inside his car, and it was fantastic to hear from him in warm-up as he described a fast lap behind Tom Chilton it was, and a slipstream he took. So we'll expect to hear from him on the back straight, I think. But the green flag has flied, and we are now off on the warm-up lap. And the drivers will have to be incredibly careful with those tyres, making sure not to damage them too much, won't they?
Yeah, obviously they've got tyre warmers, so the tyres, the carcass of the tyre will be nicely up to temperature. They'll be pressured pretty good, but it's especially the lap 1. It's watching the curbs through the first 2, 3, 4 corners. Well, probably first half of the lap, and then not trying to slide them too much. They want to scrub them in. If some will be running new, they want to scrub in without sliding them. Others will be running scrub tyres. So. I think we're going down to Rob in a minute anyway.
Yeah, indeed. From the third corner, we'll hear from Rob, and in fact, here he is. Let's see what he's got to say at the start of this race.
Warming the tyres up, a little bit of weaving around left and right, hard on the brakes. Trying to get as much temperature into the brakes and tyres as possible. The weaving is merely just a sense of trying to keep the tyres clean from any dirt pick up on the track. Out of turn 3, get a nice little run up here, up behind the van, brake hard, down a couple of gears, trying not to lock it up. It's going to be an interesting start to the race, that is for sure. People in front of us, that effectively qualifying was all a bit of a mess, everyone knows, but yeah, just going to try, obviously. I think the sensible thing to do is to try and slot in behind Ivan, but I know Chilton's going to be trying to do exactly the same behind his teammate. Of course, I think for me the best thing to do is try and slot in behind any Chevrolet and use their slipstream, try and get past people when the people in front of me make holes, try and be there and pick them off one by one. We know we've got a fast car, we know we've got a good race car, that is for sure. Pace has been fantastic. The treacherous turn 9 we're just coming through now. There's going to be some sideways action, so I've got to get myself in position. Get all the mapping right on the steering wheel, the anti-lag system is in position. Last check of the seat belts as we come into turn 10. This is going to be a messy start, guys, I'm sure. Enjoy it all. I'll speak to you later.
So they have to go through the grid slots as we head towards the start and finish line to get this first World Touring Car race of the weekend underway. Nukia and Nash absolutely equal. There's a little bit of a mess further back, and is that race start? Yes, it is. We are underway, and Mehdi Banani pokes his nose out on the left-hand side, see if he can try and get down the inside of Nukia, but it's a pretty equal start between Nukia and James Nash. Further back, it's getting very, very busy. Charles Eng's made contact. Oh, and that's Basseng coming across. More contact, but he's managed to stay away from too much chaos. Doesn't look like a very good start from Tom Chilton. He's gone further back than he should have done. Kozlowski's not made a very good start either. So it's Nukia, Nash, Bernani, Engsler, Bart, Thompson up to 6th position, ahead of his teammate Kozlowski. Then Eng, Monge and McDowell on board with Muller behind Monge.
Amazing clean start from the front few guys. Another few further back had to take to the escape road, and there was the inevitable bit of contact. Asang was extremely, one of the luckiest drivers I've seen to manage to be able to hold on, but Tomo's had an awesome start, straight past Kozlowski, and he's already into the top 5, 6.
Freddie Bart taking to the grass to get past Franz Engsler, and then tried to be followed through by James Thompson. There's Basseng now tucked up behind Fernando Monge, who qualified absolutely dead last and then found himself in 11th position to start this race. Ivan Muller going round the outside of Charles Eng at turn 10. Where is Rob Huff? Has his plan worked? Yes, he's pretty much there with Ivan still. Side by side, Ivan and Charles Eng continue to battle, and Ivan's actually backed out of that one.
Yeah, we got the Larders lying in 6th and 7th. Freddie Bart still hanging on in there in 5th in his Beamer. So it'll be interesting to see, and Engsler right behind him. Oh no, he's just got past Engsler actually. Yeah,
look at Mehdi Bernani right in the slipstream of James Nash as well. A little bit of a gap then to Freddie Bart and Engsler, where they're having that battle. And they were going side by side through the chicane. It's surely not going to work. There's Tom Chilton, who really hasn't made a good start at all.
Yeah, I'd imagine Tomo in the Larder will want to get. He's got 3 Beamers in front of him, and he needs to get past them and sort of make some track position up. Oh, that's nice and tight. Needs to make some track position because the boogeyman Ivan Muller is going to be on his way with his entourage of quick cars around him.
Yeah, now Ivan is in some clear air, and ahead of him is Alex McDowell, who's trying to get past the first of the 2 Larders, although James Thompson now dipping out of the slipstream of Franz Engsler to try and go through, but Engsler puts him on the grass, shuts the door very, very aggressively. Meanwhile, those 2 Chevys at the front of the field are starting to get away, and that does not bode well for Ivan. He'll need them to be relatively close. Pretty much the same machinery on board McDowell.
Wow. You could see the top speed of that Chevrolet as McDowell was cutting his way up straight past Kozlowski, and I think James is going to struggle to keep him behind him now.
Yeah, James Thompson really did lose out there, though, by having to back out of the passing move with Franz Engsler. Engsler didn't quite shut the door enough on Freddie Bart to allow him through, but very much shut the door on James Thompson. Here comes Ivan Muller on Mikhail Kozlowski down the inside, and it looked a very easy move.
I was just about to say, McDowell seems to be the one Chevrolet who's really on the move, but Muller's up there. He's right with him now.
Someone in the background taking to the escape road. Didn't see exactly who that was. I have a feeling it might have been Tom Chilton. Meanwhile, at the front of the field, though, James Nash still chasing Miguel Nukia, mirroring every single move, and they need to push, but they need to be careful with those tyres as well. Look, Freddie Bart up to 4th and on the back of Mehdi Bernani now. So those 2 BMWs could be dark horses come the end of the race.
Yeah, what the Beamers need to do is they need just to hang on in there for the first half of the race. Oh!
James Thompson finally barging his way past Franz Engsler, but around the outside goes Alex McDowell to take 2 positions down this back straight. They were telling me it was hard to pass here, but it doesn't look very hard for Alex McDowell. Now Ivan Muller has to find a way past James Thompson, who almost opens the door and invites him through.
Tomo and Ivan are their old teammates, old sparring partners, so I think Jimmy wouldn't want to hold him up unnecessarily, and if he can get onto the back of Ivan and use his slipstream, then it might benefit him.
So at the end of lap 3 then, Nukia, Nash, Bernani, Bart is your top 4. And then McDowell ahead of Engsler, Muller, Thompson, and Engsler drops to 8th after not a particularly good lap. You can see Rob Huff now trying to find a way past Mikhail Kozlowski going into the braking zone at chicane. Kozlowski very late on the brakes, but he has the liquid moly car of Franz Engsler ahead of him, so he needs to be very, very careful.
Good bit of defensive driving from Kozlowski we saw there. Just the Seat was showing its nose, and he moved across and went, not into this one, you don't.
Now it's side by side from Franz Engsler and Mikhail Kozlowski. The circuit goes left, and Engsler needs to leave him room, but Huff needs to find a way through as well, and he in fact just latches onto the back of the Larder, knowing that that Larder is incredibly light and has a good engine. He We should get a good slipstream, and Franz Engster is a sitting duck here. That BMW not working well, and here comes Charles Eng, his teammate, in that 4-car slipstreaming train, trying to get away past.
Yeah, Chilton just trying to make it as the third one through on, was it Eng or Engster?
Engster and then Eng behind.
Yeah, just trying to get through there. Hasn't been able to quite make the progress of Muller in the first half.
Huffy gets past Kozlowski and now has a bit of free air to chase down James Thompson.
Still nothing to split the lead to. Less than 0.4 of a second between them. So Nash is shadowing Nukia's every move.
And Alex McDowell is now on the back of Freddie Bart. Those Chevrolets are still super fast. And Ivan Muller just behind, and McDowell will want to try and get past Freddie Bart quickly so that Ivan Muller is not there to take the challenge to the both of them.
One of the interesting things is the two lead Chevrolets are not breaking it. Oh, that was close from McDowell and Bart. The two lead Chevrolets are not breaking away from Bernani and Bart in third and fourth position, which is quite strange because they've got to make a bit of a buffer, because in the second half of the race, these BMs should start to come, the race should start to come back to them.
I've got a feeling actually that first lap slide was from René Munich, who's dropped to last position, although Fernando Monge is also out of the race. In front of them are the 3 Hondas as Alex McDowell blasts past Freddie Bart, and that puts McDowell into 4th position, although Bart's sticking down the inside and trying to make it tricky for him. McDowell's going to have to go the long way round, and still it's side by side as Bart has a shorter line through the corner. But the banking does help. Can't quite shut the door, and Bart's really put up a great fight there.
He has put up a good fight, hasn't he?
And now around the outside of the first part of the chicane and holds on to the position. That was lovely driving from Freddie Bart.
McDowell's not careful. Muller's going to pick him off if Bart slows his exit speed.
Exactly. Now Ivan Muller a better exit through the chicane and slips to the inside to try and find a way through McDowell, who goes to the outside of Freddie Bart. He's going to be really late on the brakes to try and make this one stick, and just about has the overlap, we can see. No, it's not worked for them though, and here comes Ivan Muller.
I thought Ivan had got 2 for the price of 1 there.
He nearly has. McDowell caught out. Here comes James Thompson.
Freddie Bart's the inevitable rolling roadblock at the moment.
And this was side by side, nicely giving each other room. And you can see James Thompson went, now, I was wondering where he come from. He flew into the chicane and skipped the chicane, and then is right back on the tail of this 4 again.
He managed to get through those tyre stacks quickly, didn't he?
Yeah. Ivan Muller all the way around the outside of Freddie Bart, and now Alex McDowell tries to do the same thing, but he's found himself in the same position as before, and he backs out the throttle to maybe just try and tighten the line, get down the inside, but Bart protects him. And look how easy it was for Ivan Muller.
I don't think it was easy, Ben, but he's just very good at his job. He's now, Bernani's going to be next in his sights, and then he's after the other 2 Chevys.
Now, one thing I was midway through saying was, if you're a fan of Honda, I'm afraid we've got Miglis in 21st, Montero 20th, and Tarquini 19th. And Tarquini dropped a position to Coronel, who's in 18th spot. It's not going very well for the Japanese manufacturer at all. They're not even on the start and finish straight yet. They're very back there, at the back of that queue.
I know there was some unhappiness in the camp, and about going out, even because of the close nature of the circuit and the possibility of damage, but they haven't even come to the party at the moment, have they?
Mikhail Kozlowski has seriously dropped off the pace after that last couple of the first couple of laps. He's now in the top of your screen, being passed by the 2 Hondas. So Kozlowski and the Lada really struggling, although James Thompson seems to still have the pace. He's ahead of Rob Huff at the moment. Here comes McDowell once again trying to find a way past Freddie Bart, and Bart is going to make it very tricky for him, but he's found the inside line this time, and that's where he needs to be 2-3 corners ago. Right, back to the lead battle. Nukia versus James Nash. Line astern for 7 laps. Now they've got 5 left. They've got a little bit of breathing space. Ivan Muller is 5 seconds down the road and not lapping a huge amount faster. So they can concentrate on each other now. Nika Racing versus Bamboo Engineering, and maybe RML will be in the party by the end of the race. He's got to get past Mehdi Bernani, who's had yet another really strong run.
Yeah, I'm sure there's going to be some communication between Steve Farrell and James Nash's engineer, and him to say, look, Muller's on the move. You've got one car between him, and he's on his way. So if you're going to have a go at Nukia, you need to get on with it now. But we're into lap 7 now, so we are entering the sort of critical area of the race where tyres are going to become an issue. So just showing him his nose again.
Now, does James Nash have better pace? We have no idea, because he's been stuffed up behind Mikel Nukia for the whole of this race. But at the moment, it looks like he's just got a little bit faster package throughout the weekend, to be honest. In free practice and qualifying, it was the Bamboo cars that are a little bit faster. Now we have a look at this battle between James Thompson, Rob Huff and Tom Chilton, the third of those cars. Again, Chilton not on the move as much or as fast as teammate Ivan Muller. And again, we go side by side. Nash trying to go around the outside, look for the cut back through this fast 6th gear right-hander, and maybe just a sniff of an opportunity. Nukia shuts the door.
Oh, that's ever so fast into that turn 10. Nash is showing him his nose, but the one thing is, out of the Chevrolet camps, James Nash and Bamboo and Muller and the RML cars did race runs. Oh!
Thompson and Huff get together. That should give Tom Chilton an opportunity. He has to back out of the idea of making a pass on Rob Huff. A bit of contact between the two drivers, but they both get away with it. Let's have a quick look.
Oh, well held, Huffy.
Slightly opportunistic move, I think, from James Thompson there, and really no overlap. And he's lost out.
Just going back, that the RML boys with Muller and Nash with Bamboo did race simulations. I don't think Nukia has done that, so he's probably journeying into the unknown a wee bit.
Tom Chilton now in the slipstream. I can tell you about the other all-in cool drivers, René Munich and Mark Basseng in the pits. Now, Mark Basseng, so he's had a problem, maybe remnants of that first lap accident. We still don't know if it was Munich or Basseng, but either of those two are now 21st and 22nd. Rob Huff, though, still lying in that 7th position and having a great fight with Tom Chilton.
Interestingly, Muller is in clear air. Oh, Chilton's definitely picked a bit of a slipstream there, hasn't he?
He's got the slipstream. Has he got the pace to cut back across the nose of Huff before they get to Farangalaga? No, he doesn't. And he's now on the outside line, as we've already seen. That's not the place you want to be.
No, yeah, I think Huffy had 1 inch left on the overlap, and he wasn't going to let him have it. It was, oh, no, you don't, Tom. But just going back, Muller's got clear air, so he's got good time to make lap times up, but he's only marginally quicker than the first two, like by about a 1/10 of a second, because maybe it's the slipstreaming of the first two. They're pulling each other along, and that's what is hindering Muller. If Muller can get up behind Banani, then he's going to sort of pick up some time.
Yeah, 7/10 faster on that last lap was Ivan Muller over Banani, Nash and Nukia on the same sort of pace, 28.1s. So it's hotting up at the front of the field. Replay of Hugo Volant getting into the back of Stefano D'Aste, and that's made a mess of his Seat. Huff! Oh, has got some damage. Is that the floor that's come off, and maybe he's been forced onto the grass? He's managed to stay ahead of Tom Chilton, but the floor is now grating on the ground, and that's not great for ride height check. Let's have a look.
It could be a brake duct, Ben. Oh!
He's had to go across those tyres, and he was talking about how dangerous they were. Meanwhile, Nukia and Nash are still at it at the front of the field. Still no way past. Nukia, a very sensible driver, incredibly successful in the Swedish Touring Car Championship, and has now had a race win in the World Touring Cars as well. James Nash would dearly love to get on the top step of the podium. He had a 3rd as well on that same weekend in Marrakesh. Can he find a way through with 2 laps remaining?
This is great. This is these two just slowing each other up a wee bit. A bit of tactical driving off Nukia. He knows how to win. Oh! Oh no! And that's Ensler into Young. Big damage for Franz Ensler. He's turned around by. Oh, what's going on here? So, he's turned around by his teammate. Cardinal sent. And, Darrell O'Young's car.
Another carbon door bites the dust on Darrell O'Young. Oh, no. And I'm afraid with only half an hour of repair time, that doesn't look very good for either team.
That is a proper BMW cocktail, isn't it?
And I wonder, with all that debris, whether we are going to see a safety car. We've got very...
I hope we don't, because we're just running up for one of the best finishes of the season.
Side by side, Ivan Muller finds a way past Mehdi Banani and into third position and onto the podium. It's been a fantastic drive from Ivan Muller. We're now heading into that sector 3. The yellow flags will be flying. James Nash needs to make a move here because the yellow flags will prevent him making any sort of a move through the chicane. But also he'll see that red and white Chevy behind and he'll know that Ivan is coming.
One lap after this one. So if he's got to do it, it's got to be quick. Nukia's got 1 lap to hang on.
The final lap then of the Salzburg Ring race. Race 1, Michael Nukia, James Nash and Ivan Muller. 3 Chevy train, but anyone could take victory here. Nukia going incredibly defensive. Nash trying to find a way through. Surely that's not the place where you do it though, into the chicane. It'll bulk each other's pace too much, and Ivan's there now. Ivan is really a threat.
Banani's not out of this yet. If there's a mess up between any of these first 3 guys, Banani's going to definitely be on the podium. But I think James is more worried about Muller behind him than Nukia front. This might just give Nukia the breathing space he needs. Here we are. This is where the slipstream's going to have its biggest effect. Muller now definitely picking up the slipstream off Nash. This is giving Nukia the breathing space he needs. All the way up to Fara-Lager curve, 240 kilometers an hour, 150 mile an hour. Slight dab on the brakes, balancing through the corner. Muller's going wide. Can he get around the outside of Nash? Nukia's got his breathing space. We've still got yellow flags in sector 3. This is just what Nukia needs. He's just got to keep it clean. That is one wrecked BMW, we can see. And it's Nukia in the Nika Racing Chevrolet, James Nash Bamboo, and Ivan Muller in the Lukoil Aeon Chevrolet. Mehdi Banani from Alex McDowell, Freddie Bart in a fantastic 6th place, Tom Chilton bringing up the 2nd Aeon Chevy from Rob Huff, reigning world champion, 8th. James Thompson in his best finish of the year for Lada in 9th place, and Tom Coronel rounding out the top 10. So that's Chevrolet 1, 2, 3 and 5. Another strong result for the mark. Freddie Bart's best result in 6th with his BMW since he's converted back to the BMW. Definite bit of walking wounded back for Franz Engster there. I think they're going to have a fair bit of work in the 15-minute repair time. Fantastic 2nd win of the season for the Nika Racing. Michael Nukia proved he can do it in the Swedish Championship, and he's showing that on the world stage now with WTC. James Nash just climbing out of the car. His strongest finish. The win was so close for him, but it's still his strongest finish. Just 2.298 seconds behind Nukia at the flag, but managing to keep Ivan Muller at bay. Michael Nukia's 2nd WTCC victory. And I'm sure it will be even as sweet as the first one. Well, Ben's managed to hot his way down there and managed to get hold of Michael Nukia. So it'll be interesting to see what he's got to say.
A fantastic victory and a fantastic race here in Salzburg for race 1. Michael Nukia, you took all the pressure all the way through the race, not only from James Nash, but then from Ivan Muller.
Yeah, I saw after here in the end of the race, I could see Ivan was behind Nash and say, oh no, now Ivan will come. We have a problem with the tires last year, so we was a little bit nervous for the tires, and I was also a little bit. But yeah, we managed to come to the race, and I could. When they slipstream me, I must block the way a little bit, you know, so they don't win everything for me. So yeah, we are very happy. My second victory in the World Touring Car, and yeah, it's a dream come true.
There was a lot of talk before the race about tyres. How were they? Did you feel any effects, and maybe they were going off at the end?
Of course, we was nervous about the tires, so we have changed the tire to hold longer. And what I could nothing feel on my tire, so I think we have a good setup. But maybe we are a little bit too slow. But now we can look at the data and the tires. But we have not long time to second race, so yeah. Let's hope for a good race in the second race.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I'm very impressed with that. Ben hot-footing it down there. He hadn't even broken into a sweat by the time we saw him. But there we go, the result. Nukia from Nash, Muller third, bringing in the final podium position. Banani, I think that's his best position of the season so far. The Hondas, 12th, 13th and 14th, which is disappointing coming into this race weekend. I thought we were going to be really strong. But Kozlowski bringing home the second Lada in 16th, so we've got two good finishes for the Lada team. Darrell Young obviously involved in with Engster and Eng in the BMW mismatch and misunderstanding, but they're going to have a lot of rework to try and do in this repair period. Just, I think it was a case of 2 into 1 go. It wasn't too bad to this point, but then Engster, as Spencer just rolled back, he just tagged the side of Young as Young was looking for the gap. And that's where, ouch, the damage was done. So Engster is a proper mess. I think we'll be lucky to see him in the, here's another angle. I think it was just a little bit of a brave manoeuvre off Charles Eng, a little bit of a gap shown on the inside of Engster, but pretty catastrophic results. The body shop guys are going to have a little bit of work to do now. Get the porta power out. So, championship, Muller still leads, 180 points. Tarquini still hanging on there, despite finishing out the points in 12th place. Nukia's just leapfrogged into 3rd position. Nash also leapfrogged into 4th. Michelitz has made great progress. He's now up into 10th place, 48. Montero in 11th. Thompson gets the first points on the board. He should have promised more, but I'm hoping he's going to give us some more, especially with Moscow Raceway being the next round. Well, that was round 9. We've got round 10 coming up in a short while. Plenty of action. New commentary from Rob Huff. And Ivan Muller, the Chevy favourite, coming through from his 13th place to be 3rd on the grid. Some close frenetic racing. Well, I think bar a couple of little skirmishes, we managed to get through here pretty unscathed, considering the grids we were presented with. Part Ferme, and Ben's managed to get hold of Franz Engster now, so it'll be interesting to see what he's got to say.
So as you can see, a lot of work going on Franz Engster's car, a big impact, Franz, and not a place where you want to have an impact as well. What exactly happened?
Somebody hit me in the rear, I spin, and another car crashed me totally in the back, and so I have no chance to look at it. I can go forward, but it's no chance.
Do you think that you can take this car back out on circuit? You know BMWs very well.
Yeah, okay, we will see if we can repair it really good. I have a great stuff. He did his best, and I think we can repair. We will show.
Thank you very much.
If the axles are okay. So in the moment, we look for the body.
So the wheels are pointing in the right direction. Thank you very much, Franz. As you can see, huge amount of work, not only on Franz Engster's car, but Charles Eng has damage too.
Obviously, no one's told Franz Engster that it was his teammate who hit him yet. I think Charles is there going and trying to explain himself somehow. Yeah, it's a difficult situation. I've been there myself before, and it is never a difficult conversation to have. But so Yokohama Points Trophy, Nash holds on from Nokia, McDowell, making it 2 bamboo cars in the top 3. Engster slips down to 9th. And Boardman back in 14th. We sadly aren't seeing this weekend after their engine woes from Morocco and Slovakia.